In Chapter 18, Problem E18-19, we are given, consider the following data for November 2014 from Walton Manufacturing Company, which makes silk pendants and uses a process costing system. All direct materials are added at the beginning of the process, and conversion costs are added evenly during the process. Spoilage is detected upon inspection at the completion of the process. Spoil units are disposed of at zero net disposable value. Suppose Walton Manufacturing Company uses the FIFO method of process costing instead of the weighted average method. Requirements: compute the average units for direct materials and conversion costs. Show physical units in the first column of your schedule. So we are given a set of information, and with this set of information, we are required to compute the equivalent units for direct material and conversion costs. Before we can do this, we need to start off with the flow of production. I have already pre-filled the template, and that way it can speed up things much faster. So for the physical units, we'll be starting with that. For the work in process beginning, there's a total of 1,125 units for work in process of November 1st. Started during current period. To get this, we would take goods units completed and transfer out during November 2014 of 8,800 plus normal spoilage of 130 units plus abnormal spoilage of 165 units plus work in process November 30th for 2,400 units and subtracted by the work in process November 1st, 1,125 units. Which gives us a total of 10,270 units for started during current period. Now to get to accounted for, we will sum up the work in process beginning of 1,125 units plus started during current period for 10,270 units. Which gives us a total of 11,395 units. Now from the beginning work in process, we would take the 1,125 units in the work in process November 1st. To find out started and completed, we would take goods units completed and transfer out during November 2014 and subtracted by our work in process November 1st of 1,125 units to get a total of 7,675 units. For normal spoilage, we get 130 units for normal spoilage. For abnormal spoilage, we get 65 units for abnormal spoilage in the physical units. To get work in process ending, we get 2,400 units in the physical units of work in process November 30th. Now to find out the accounted for, we would sum up from beginning work in process of 1,125 units plus the started and completed of 7,675 units plus normal spoilage of 130 units plus abnormal spoilage of 65 units plus work in process of ending of 2,400 units to get a total of 11,395 units for the physical units for accounted for. Moving on to the equivalent units for direct material. Now, to find the equivalent units for direct material, we would take the physical units from beginning work in process, 1,125 units, times it by 100%, subtracted by 100%, which would give us a total of 0 units for the equivalent units in direct materials for the from beginning work in process. Now, to get the started and completed for equivalent units of direct material, we would just take the 7,675 units in the physical units and multiply that by 100%, which gives us a total of 7,675 units. To get the equivalent units for direct material for normal spoilage, we will take 130 units in the physical units and multiply that by 100%. And also get 130 units for equivalent units in direct material. Now for abnormal spoilage, for the equivalent units in direct material, we will still take the 65 units in the physical units and multiply that by 100%. To get a total of 65 units for equivalent units direct material for abnormal spoilage. For work in process ending, we would take 2,400 in the physical units and multiply that by 100% to get a total of 2,400 units for equivalent units in direct materials for work in process ending. Now, to get the equivalent units of work done in current period, we will sum up from beginning work in process 0 units plus started and completed units of 7,675 units plus normal spoilage of 130 units plus abnormal spoilage of 65 units plus work in process and ending of 2,400 units. To get a total of 10,270 units. Moving on to the equivalent units for conversion costs, we would take 1,125 units in the physical units from the beginning work in process, multiply that by 100%, subtracted by 60%, which gives us a total of 450 units in the equivalent units for conversion costs. For started and completed, for the equivalent units conversion cost, we will take the 7,675 units and multiply that by 100%, which gives us 7,675 units for equivalent units and conversion costs under the started and completed. To get normal spoilage, we would take 130 units in the physical units and multiply it by 100%, which gives us 130 units for equivalent units and conversion costs. To get abnormal spoilage for equivalent units and conversion costs, we would take the 65 units in the physical units and multiply that by 100%, which also gives us 65 units of equivalent units and conversion costs. Now to get the work in process for ending, we would take 24 units of physical units and multiply that by the 30% degree of completion for the conversion cost, which is 30%, and gives us a total of 720 for equivalent units and conversion costs for work in process ending. To find out the equivalent units of work done in current period, we would sum up from beginning work in process of 450 plus started and completed of 7,675 units plus normal spoilage of 130 units plus abnormal spoilage of 65 units plus work in process ending of 720 units to get a total of 9,040 units for equivalent units of conversion cost. This wraps up the video for Chapter 18, Problem E18-19.